Alright, moving along from special projects, let's talk about how to find a list of contacts, how to find contractors. So they're out there, but you might not have done this before. You may never have looked in your specialty or in your area. So some of the things that you're going to do to generate a list, and you want that list to be sizable, say 20, maybe just 10 would work. But the idea is it's going to be the same old in a lot of ways. Talk to your friends, your neighbors, your relatives. They might know somebody who knows somebody or has worked on a project. Tell them what you're up to. Don't be afraid to share. They might ask a bunch of questions about, oh, you should do this or you should do that. And you get all sorts of unsolicited advice about certain contractors or how to do a project, or you can't do it any other way except this way, or with this guy, or with this contractor. They might really highly suggest somebody, but tell them that you're just getting underway and that you really need to get a good list together to talk to. Ask your coworkers too. Now, this doesn't mean blast out an email to your firm of, or your group, but just talk, or whenever you run into people. One of the things is, if you're talking to your coworkers about a project, whether this project is for your company or this is your home project, chances are a lot of people that are older than you are have gone through some of these steps and stages, and they might have some ideas of who to ask. Even though the contacts might be 10 years old or more, they might have a good idea of who to get in contact with. So feel free to ask around as well. And if you also drive around your neighborhood or through an area, you'll notice that there's architectural signs or engineering signs. Ask them, call them up and ask them and say, I saw your sign and I just thought I'd ask, is there somebody I could speak with that would be good for this type of project that's similar? And that's the idea, is if you see a huge project going in and you just have a small home renovation, chances are you're not going to get the call back from an architect or an engineer along those lines. Now, the architect or engineer may or may not call you back. They may not know of some of your project specifics, but they'll able to easily sort of say, this is what we do and I can help you, or this isn't really what we do and I'm sorry I can't help you. But they also might come up with a list of contractors they work with, and that becomes a lead to go and ask or make another call. Seems like a lot of work, but once you start jotting down some notes and making some plans, you start adding to this list step by step. You can also search the internet. I put that last because sometimes that can be deceiving about how much the internet can offer you. Not all the great general contractors are going to be on the internet, and some of the ones that aren't going to be great have a really great internet site, and that's where there's a big difference, big discrepancy between the real world with output and with an internet site. So be aware of that. You can contact the Angie's List and Yelp and a few others. I just listed those here as starting points. But make sure that you're listing out your project, and you might get some hits on your project size, but you also might get some reviews as well. A lot of people like to offer their opinions on the internet, of course, so Yelp might be a good one for you. Angie's List, if you go to a highly rated contractor, highly rated ones will probably be busy, so don't anticipate that they can start on your project soon, and they may not be able to fit into your schedule. On top of that, the contractors can also see what their ratings are online for Angie's and other places, and they can say, you know what, I can kind of bump up my prices a little bit, and they can do that because they do offer quality work, and they certainly are worth it in many, many ways. But you might not get that budget or that guy with just a truck and a toolkit. You might get somebody that's a little bit more than a truck and a toolkit, and he's charging more of the mid-range prices. Granted, they're probably doing great work and they're probably doing it in a decent amount of time, but you might not get the time that you want, or the schedule that you want, or the estimate that you want to see either.